So, what did you guys think of the halftime show? Tell you right now, mm, meh.
The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Welcome, my brothers and my sisters. Happy Black History Month to every single last one of y'all. I'm so glad to be here. Okay, I just got back from from DC. Here now. Okay, we filmed a great episode for the culture. We're gonna talk about that a little bit, but we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl. Okay, rather the Super Bowl halftime show, because the Super Bowl really wasn't nothing special. The Super Bowl was not anything special. Complete total blowout. But okay, I mean, it is what it is. Um, yeah, the game wasn't really that impressive and all of that, but we're gonna talk about the halftime show and what that meant. Okay. I want us to understand people have been gearing up this halftime show because this is Bad Bunny's. It's not his first time at a Super Bowl, but his first time being the headline at a Super Bowl. And this is supposed to be something that unites, Latinos in the world and all of that stuff. And it was supposed to have this big, phenomenal cultural impact, similar or even more than it did with Kendrick. But a lot of people's like, there were points, man. Y'all can't do it, and we're gonna discuss why it did not top Kendrick's. It didn't, and it's not even my opinion. I'm talking about the reaction of the people. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. The reaction of the people. All right, why the cultural overlap is not gonna happen. What y'all wanted to do is really copy and paste what Kendrick did. When I saw it, I'm all like, okay, that's kind of like a copy and paste to a lot of degrees, and a lot of people are saying that. Okay, even the people who are saying that Bad Bunny did good, and I'm not saying he did do good or didn't do good. I'm not saying that he didn't do good. Personally, I don't listen to Bad Bunny. I don't listen to his music. I don't listen to Spanish music. So I don't know if that's good when it comes to their standards or not. Personally, it's not it, I don't know if it's good or bad when it comes to the Puerto Rican or Spanish standards. As far as my standards, it was a miss to me. There's nothing I can connect to. There's nothing I could have related to. To me, it was a pass. Okay. I'm sure if I was Puerto Rican or something like that, I would have loved it. But to a lot of people who's not Puerto Rican or not Mexican, and not from the southern border, it was like we can kind of pass on that. It was a lot of people like, yeah, we gotta pass on that. That's how I felt about it. I'm not even hating. I'm not even hating, but when I was watching it, I'm all like, okay, well, Bad Bunny's out there. He's doing his thing, and I'm kind of somewhat seeing the resemblance. And then they tried to make Bad Bunny this big thing, the whole thing. Now he does have a huge audience. I'm not gonna be no hater. I'm gonna give him all the credit for that. He does have a huge audience. All right. But they wanted this to be a super political thing where Bad Bunny's out there doing some brave act of activism and artistry and all of that. Now, remember when he was talking about the Grammys, okay? We talked about Bad Bunny at the Grammys. He won a Grammy for Best Album of the Year. We already discussed that. But what I didn't know at the time was when you look at his vest or his shirt, Bad Bunny is wearing a bulletproof vest. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that. And they made that a big deal. They made that something. Let me show y'all. Lord have mercy. Hold on, here we go.
Telling me that Bad Bunny had on a bulletproof vest? I don't think y'all understand how insane that is. Like, first of all, I realized from his jacket that it was a little bulky. I thought he was just trying to show that he was a little muscular. I thought it was supposed to be like this little look of like Superman. And then I also realized that he was sitting by himself. I'm like, where's mama, daddy, uncle, grandpa? Nobody was there to hug this man. Where is the family? Where is the boo thing? And to know that he was sitting by himself because it was a safety reason, the best night of his life, something that people look forward to in their career in the music industry, he was living it in fear. Do y'all not understand how insane that is? How concerning that is? Because the man is singing in Spanish. This is insane. Like, I don't feel like people understand. Like, this is literally insane. He is getting death threats because he's singing in Spanish. This is insane. And I'm so sad. Like, y'all already know, I will cry in a second. I am so sad because this should have been a beautiful experience for him, but he couldn't even share it with nobody. He couldn't even be there with nobody because he had to save, other people if a situation went down. And then he still stayed on that stage and said what he needed to say. Fearlessness. I give it to him because I would have been like, bump y'all, I ain't going. Y'all just catch me another time. These people crazy.
Okay. You can already see the propaganda, all right? Bad Bunny wearing that's extra. That is super extra. That is beyond being extra. Okay? Bad Bunny wearing a bulletproof vest at the Grammys and then sitting by himself, no family, and people like, oh my God, he's afraid because of his accent and his ethnicity and this American society and this political climate right now is just so divisive that he has to wear a bulletproof vest in fear for his life. If he was that scared, he wouldn't have showed up at the Grammys. Let me tell you that. Okay? If you're in fear, okay, not as security, you don't think if a situation goes down, there are people who are paid to handle that situation. People who have been trained, people who have equipment, people who have weapons. That's not you. If anything pop off, nobody's running to you for an emergency. You already understand that going in as an artist, okay? But if you gotta wear a bulletproof vest, I wouldn't have went personally. I wouldn't if I'm like, hey man, if I gotta wear, I'm just not going. If I feel like I'm gonna get sniped or something like that, if I feel like I'm going into a war zone to get the Grammy, I will be okay. Okay. So all of that, he sat by himself and he wore a bulletproof vest, and they were there. ICE was gonna kill him. They were there to kill him and hunt him. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, let's tone that down. Can we tone that down a little bit? Like that's much at the Grammys, y'all. That's okay. Okay. All right. Okay. But he was just so brave, he decided to go there anyway and say what he needed to say. Okay. They put out this propaganda that this was some type of danger or whatever the case is to highlight him and make it seem like what he's saying is so profound and brave, okay, and unprecedented. He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything that pretty much every other artist on stage didn't say. Every artist on stage was anti-ICE. Everybody was wearing an anti-ICE or ICE out button on their shirt or vest or dress or whatever, and ain't nobody else had a bulletproof vest on but you. Okay, so it's not like it's not like you were an outlier. Your political opinions was an outlier at that event. Everybody there was on the same page, and nobody else had a bulletproof vest on but him. Okay, he was not in any more danger than anybody else. But all right, okay, sure. He had a bulletproof vest on. Okay. They also tried to push this black and brown propaganda. All this was before the Super Bowl, because we're going to get into the Super Bowl, but I want us to have a chronological order and walking through exactly what the messaging was before the Super Bowl. Okay, and to let you know it didn't land, but okay.
The group of African Americans that's been trying.
Hold on.
I'm part of the group of African Americans that's been trying to get ready for this show, listening to this music, trying to learn Spanish, which has been muy mal.
Un poquito de Duolingo?
Yep. Sí, es verdad.
You got your streaks. I've been like a little bit emotional, like taken aback by the level of love that I've seen on social media, mostly from Black creators.
Yes, but you know what that is? It's because the kinship between the Black and the brown, and also just Bad Bunny is just bad. Like bad meaning good. It's just like he's got that swagger. It's just something about him. He just very much feels like not just an artist, but an artist with a capital A.
And to be clear, I don't think you have to know the language. I don't think you have to know his music at all. I think it's just a moment to partake as one in the United States on this biggest stage in America and have a good time. And I think his trailer for the halftime show showed that, right? He
Right.
was dancing with every sort of generation, race, creed, and he was saying that this music, the show is for everyone.
We know it's going to be a moment, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to feel like a moment for people who choose to participate. I think it's going to just feel like we're all coming together as one.
Did you guys feel like Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime performance made us all come together as one? I didn't feel that way. Did you guys feel that? I didn't feel that way about Bad Bunny's thing. This ain't even me hating. I just didn't feel that way. I did. Talking about, well, I'm one of the African Americans. At this point in time, a lot of y'all, when y'all say African American, I squint my eyes and I side eye. I'm like, no, because y'all be using the word African American and not being of the lineage. So I don't know. And then in some of the videos, you saying black, but I'm all like, okay, where are their family from? Okay. And then you only show what, three videos of people dancing or something like that. And be all like, oh my God, there's so much love from the black community. They loved it. They loved it. It was just so great. They just loved the kinship between the black and the brown, and they want to celebrate with Bad Bunny. Okay, no, no. We're not gonna force this thing, and I want you to understand CNN put that out. Now, think about this. When Kendrick had his Super Bowl halftime performance, was CNN talking about how this performance unified anybody? No. CNN was not talking about how this performance unified anybody. CNN was not putting out propaganda saying, oh, Mexicans are in such big support of Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl. Mexicans are such supportive of black people. They don't do that. Notice when the white mainstream media, notice when they do something, there's always black people are showing support for other groups of people, whether that's Hispanics, whether that's Asians, whether that's Palestinians, whether that's whomever. Okay, it's always black people showing support for other groups of people. Do you know, and I can play, but do you know in the Super Bowl halftime show, one of the commercials was like a high school setting, and it was I'm gonna just say it for just elaborating the commercial. There was a Jewish kid, and he was getting bullied. They put like a sticker on his locker with some anti-Semitic statement or something like that. And then here comes a black kid, and he puts a blue sticker over the like anti-Semitic thing, and he's like, I've been there, bro. I understand too. And then he like puts his arm around the shoulder, like, just ignore him, man. Just walk away. And I'm all like, yo, y'all are really trying to force this black people be for the world image in the Super Bowl. I wish I could show y'all that commercial, but I can't show you that commercial. But yeah, you can look it up. Go look up the blue sticker after this blue sticker commercial on the Super Bowl. I'm all like, y'all really pushing that line. Now, what's interesting is they were like, yeah, there's such a rise in anti-Semitism. Right. Now, Black Americans, we face the #1 percentage rate per capita, whatever metric you want to use, hate crimes every year, no comparison. Okay. It's not even close, the type of hate crimes that we face in comparison to everybody else. And I'm just talking about the ones that actually get counted as hate crimes. Because, a lot of situations, our hate crimes don't actually get calculated and put in the documents as a hate crime. All right. Just the ones that get calculated. You don't see any type of propaganda of any other community coming there and saying, hey, you know what? We experience hate crimes too, black people. We're going to help you out. We're going to fight these hate crimes together. I got your back. You don't see the white media putting out this propaganda of anybody having our back. You don't see that. But yet when it comes to anybody else going through anything, then there's always this propaganda of, hey, here comes the black angel. They put us as these saviors and these angels who are here to protect and guide other people through their hardship, okay? Which is used to overshadow our hardship, okay? The fact that we got stuff going on, and every time somebody else got something, it's everybody stop. The media has to focus specifically anti-Asian hate, anti-Semitic, anti-immigrant. It's always something about that. And then there's this push to get black people to be the rescuers and the saviors of everybody. And it's not, we're not falling for that propaganda. It's not working. It's not hitting the way they want it to. Okay? It's really not. When it comes to the Super Bowl, let's talk about it. Okay, Bad Bunny's out there. He's the first Spanish person to do it, but I'm gonna be very honest. The whole kind of theme, I was just getting flashbacks of Kendrick, and I wasn't even trying to, but I was getting flashbacks of Kendrick, right? I'm talking about, him dancing on the car and all of that stuff. I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, we've seen that, you know what I'm saying? The way he was using the flags and all of that stuff. I'm like, okay, we've seen that, you know what I'm saying? I'm all like, even at a certain point in time, he was marching down the field with the football. That's what Kendrick and Mustard were doing. They were marching down the field with the football. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm seeing kind of like the parody you have going on here, the parallel you're trying to make, and a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, they're both so conscious in their messaging." Okay, and I'm not saying his messaging wasn't conscious to their community. I'm not saying that. However, it didn't land the way they needed it to. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. To tell you why, okay? They started off with the, fields and, all of that stuff. And okay, I don't have to break it down. It didn't land because right now, foundational Black Americans are going through a cultural renaissance. So everybody in the world has a sensitivity to very culturally relevant things. So when we see it, our attention goes that way. Other people don't have a cultural renaissance, and you can't really overlap or try to piggyback off of ours because this is our homeland. We built this, not immigrants. We built this. All right. So there's really no overlapping you can have. You can't really have no overlap, or even no, you can't trail behind, because people are going to be like, okay, you're trying to make this a cultural thing, but this is not your homeland though. So just based off of that alone, the impact is not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. You're not going to get the same potency from the message of this is our homeland, this is our right, we were denied. And when Kendrick is bringing up 40 acres and a mule and all of that, y'all don't have that type of line. Bad Bunny can't bring up a 40 acres and a mule verse because that doesn't exist in America for Puerto Rico, you know, or for Hispanics or Latinos in general. So it's just not the cultural relevance of it. Y'all might have enjoyed it. I'm not taking that away from nobody. Y'all might have enjoyed it, but there's a cultural connection that's supposed to hit with this message, and it's supposed to be powerful and entertaining. Okay, it's a lot of people like with Kendrick's thing. People get the message, but people on this one like I don't know, because it's seeming like you're copying an artist who did it before you, and you're not really hitting what he hit. That's number one. Number two, because the entire thing was in Spanish, whole thing at the Super Bowl. There was no way for any non-Spanish speaking people. I don't care what nobody says. I still liked it. Okay, sure. There's no way for any non-Spanish speaking people to fully get connected. I don't care what you say. If you don't know the songs, there's no way you can learn a language in a week and then learn his songs to perform the Super Bowl. You couldn't do that. Okay. So it's an automatic disconnection, which clearly he could have bought some, even if he bought Hispanics or Puerto Ricans or whatever the case. Even if he did, he could have had some type of English song in there or an English verse. Cardi B was there. She could have rapped possibly in English. You had other people who were there and they could have did something, but it didn't. He didn't care to. So he didn't care for it to be inclusionary to everybody. He didn't, which is fine. That's his prerogative. But that's why culturally is not going to hit the same, because this isn't a Spanish speaking country. Now, that might be offensive, but that is the truth. English is the country of America. Okay. Officially, it is. I'm not saying any other language is bad, but I mean, uh, Mexican, not Mexican, Spanish is the language of Mexico. English is the language of America. So when you're in an American platform and you sing in Spanish, that cultural impact is like, it's not going to hit the same in Spanish. It's really not. Okay. You don't really have no 40 acres and a mule type of thing where you talk about reparation. You can't really do that. Another thing, right? Kendrick, his artistry, he's able to tap in and make things, even his beat. Now, I'm not even talking about his beef with Drake. I'm not even talking about that, even though that was a major thing. But there were things where people, especially FBA, we were able to get up and we were able to really kind of like be in the zone with Kendrick as he was doing that. SZA as well too. But like, you know, there are songs Kendrick did. Like, for instance, if you went to TV off, people are able to be like, turn the TV off, turn the TV off, turn the TV off, turn the TV off. People can't do that with Bad Bunny. Nobody knows his songs. All his songs is in Spanish. I don't even know if he has a song where people can kind of get like that one. Okay. Kendrick had songs like that the whole time. I'm not even talking about Not Like Us, where people pretty much have, and that was the biggest song of the summer before. Everybody knows that song. Okay. There's so many quotable lines to the song. Probably a minor. Everybody went crazy at the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny couldn't do that. That it didn't happen with Bad Bunny. He doesn't have a probably a minor. He doesn't have one of those. When Kendrick was all like, they not like us, they not like us, everybody sitting up there. They don't have, Bad Bunny doesn't have a they not like us. It doesn't connect culturally. It's bigger than just being catchy, y'all. I want us to understand that it's a cultural thing. He ain't got it. And I'm not saying he's a bad artist or whatever the case is, but I'm talking about when it comes to American culture, which is Black culture. Black culture is the heartbeat of America. It ain't hidden. And that's what a lot of people thought. It ain't really hidden, man. It looked like it's not like you did your completely own original thing. It looked like you took a lot of inspiration from Kendrick, but the marks he was able to hit with all of the songs and all of the references and people actually breaking down and analyzing, oh, what this mean, what this mean, what this mean. He didn't do it. Now, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion, he didn't hit that mark. He didn't hit that mark. All right. Another thing. Look at how everybody was dressed. Everybody's dress, whether you were in blue, red, or white, was symbolic of Black Americans, the American flag, the fact that we built this country and all of that stuff. You didn't see, so that not only shows cultural and ethnic pride, it also shows patriotism. Okay. You're not going to be able to do that when you have a bunch of foreign flags. Now, people talk about, well, Puerto Rican is a part of America. Okay, well, every single country or nation in the southern border is not a part of America. So when you're having a whole "we are the world" thing, it kind of gets lost because you're not tapping into a specific culture. It doesn't. You're not focusing in and highlighting that culture or lineage if it's the whole "we are the world" thing. So even the flag part to a lot of us didn't really hit. Okay, not hating. If that's what he wanted to do, fine. Another thing, going back to it, right? Look at how everybody was dressed. You had men dressed like that, you had women dressed like that. Everybody was appropriate. Nobody was, people tripped about Sierra Williams crip walking, but nobody was twerking. Nobody was grinding. Nobody, nothing was super overtly sexual or anything like that. And the same thing, honestly, cannot be said for Bad Bunny's performance. I mean, you had a lot of stuff like this. You had a lot of these Latinas out there shaking their ass and men all behind them grinding and all of that stuff. It was looking like a dirty music video. I'm like, Kendrick ain't have none of that. Everything was family friendly and all of that stuff. I'm like, no, and that's another reason because people like, oh, dude, no, man. Now, here's one thing though. Had Kendrick did that, there would have been a lot more controversy. Notice nobody's really talking about inappropriate themes in Bad Bunny's performance. Nobody's talking about that. And I'm not saying nobody's ever twerked at a Super Bowl or anything like that ever before, but I'm saying, if you're going to compare it to last year, it doesn't have that, the cultural impact. You have to understand all of these things add up. All of them do. The fact that the messaging was there, people can relate to it, people can sing to it and dance to it, and it's appropriate. People can't do that with Bad Bunny. People couldn't do that. Now, what's interesting is that when you have Latinos out there shaking their ass and all that stuff, nobody says boo. Now, if Kendrick had a whole bunch of black sisters out there doing the same type of things with the brothers all behind them, grinding on them, it would have been, oh my God. That's what everybody would be talking about. Oh my God, this is degenerate. Oh my God, you're gonna let your kids watch the Super Bowl. How could Kendrick Lamar do this? See, this is the problem with rap culture. They over sexualize, and you would have had a whole bunch of these other feminists. Oh, why did Kendrick decide to over sexualize women? Notice Bad Bunny did it. Nobody's gonna talk about him over sexualizing women. Nobody's gonna talk about it that's being over sexual or inappropriate. If Kendrick did it, it would be a whole bunch of think pieces like big controversy. People are disliking Kendrick. Kendrick's Super Bowl performance wasn't appropriate for everybody of all ages. And y'all know that's what they would have said if Kendrick did that. So all of these things add up. No, man. No, man. No. So a lot of people felt that way. A lot of people felt like, you know what? As far as the Super Bowl, a lot of FBAs was kind of chilling on it for real. Not hating, but just kind of chilling on it. Let me show you. Let me get.
Why would I watch the halftime show or care if I don't understand what he's saying? Like, people are saying you're racist for not wanting to watch or support Bad Bunny, and I'm like, I think that's the problem. I think there's an agenda behind why he's performing, and you're a part of it. I don't understand what he's saying, so I'm not going to listen to it. I don't care. He's not speaking my language. Why are you trying to make me feel uncomfortable on an English-speaking territory? Or in an English-speaking territory, I'm sorry. I don't understand what he's saying, so I don't really care. I don't know why he's performing if he can't speak English. That's just how I feel about it. It's just the NFL. This isn't the World Cup with soccer or something. I can understand that. But it's the NFL. Even in soccer, bro, when they be having like America News or something like that, like these folks translate the post-game interview in English. So I need that at the Super Bowl halftime show. It's the Super Bowl. If you can't translate the song in English, big dog, I'm gonna need you to find somebody else. Because I don't know what you're saying. And no, I'm not racist just because I don't know what you're saying. Or just because I don't care about what you gotta say because I don't know what you're saying.
There was a lot of pressure on us because they wanted us to have the same type of reaction to the Super Bowl. of Bad Bunny that we did to Kendrick, and we just didn't. I said, not hating, I said on Twitter, Kendrick's was better. A lot of people agreed. But there were some people in my DMs and in the comment section being all like, why are you saying that about Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny did great. You're a hater. You're ignorant. You're racist. I'm like, they was calling me a dumbass, all that ignorant, hateful. I'm like, I'm not hating on Bad Bunny. I said Kendrick's is better. I can have that opinion. Like he said, Bad Bunny's not even speaking my language. Okay? Now, there's this agenda, and I want you to understand the whole thing was an orchestrated agenda to overlap what they felt like Kendrick was tapping into, because he didn't start it, but he was tapping into the cultural renaissance that we're having. And they all like, okay, we can overlap that by copying and pasting some of the elements that we think really resonated with people with Kendrick, and then put that on a Latino. That's what they wanted to do. Okay. And a lot of people were sitting up there trying to praise Bad Bunny and all of that stuff. And it's just not, it wasn't really hitting with nobody. It's not really hitting with nobody. When people put this post out, right? This one, let's talk about it. Michael Jackson. And they said Michael Jackson, he had 133.4 million views for his Super Bowl 1991. Bad Bunny, 142.3 million views for his Super Bowl last night. Okay. They was like, oh, Bad Bunny, Bad Bunny, Bad Bunny just beat Michael Jackson. Bad Bunny just beat Michael Jackson. Okay. I mean, that's cool. Not hating. Not hating. I'm not. I am going to say it. Y'all know I'm going to say it, so I am going to say it. You're comparing what Michael Jackson did in the 90s to Bad Bunny in 2006. And you ain't beat him by that much, but okay. If this is how bad they want to grab a win from people, this is how bad they want to make it seem, oh my God, he's phenomenal. He did. Like, no. Dude, the first iPhone came out in 2007. 2007, the first iPhone. Michael Jackson did that before the first iPhone or smartphone and all of that stuff had even come out. So there's probably going to be a lot more people who have the ability to view the Super Bowl than Michael Jackson. People can watch the Super Bowl on their smartphones. People couldn't do that in 1991. People had to actually go someplace and turn on the Super Bowl. Now you got everybody streaming Super Bowls, live streams and Twitch streams and all of those types of things of people watching the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the accessibility of pretty much all entertainment, and the Super Bowl is a lot larger than it was during Michael's time. And even when you consider that, you ain't do that much for somebody who everybody's been saying was this global phenomenon and had so much political heat on him. You think that he would have blew Michael. He didn't really blow Michael out the water. He didn't really blow Kendrick out the water either, but okay. All right, I ain't hating, but I'm just, let's just call a spade, not hating, right? But the fact that we're not even that really impressed by it. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple other people. I ain't gonna lie to you, Chris Brown. Chris Brown said something. He was all like, "Hey," he looked at it and he felt the same way a lot of people. He said, "I think it's safe to say they need me." Yep, Chris Brown was on that type of time. He said, "I think it's safe to say they need me." All right, listen, that'd be interesting. I think Chris Brown, despite, I know we got a lot of controversy. Some people love him, some people don't. I get it. But I think we can all agree Chris Brown would put on a hell of a performance at the Super Bowl. Regardless of what you think about Chris Brown and his controversy, whatever the case may be, I get it. You can't deny the fact that he is he is a great performer. You can't deny the fact that he's going to put on he can sing, he can dance, he can be in the air with the wires and all that stuff. He gonna put on the Super Bowl performance. He know how to perform. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. A lot of people was feeling that way. A lot of people was feeling like, actually, we could use, you know what I'm saying? People's all like, the Super Bowl, it really ain't really hit the way they kind of wanted it to, for real. It really didn't hit that way, right? This is what makes it.
NFL, though they want fans, think of the NFL, though they want fans, I'm not sure, and this is just my take. I'm not sure if that's the fans that they were going for, but I believe the people that were in charge that picked the talent just made this pair. But it pales in comparison to all of the people that have gone before. To me, it looks like the NFL is getting worse each year in their performance. That's for me as a performer. Thinking of a performance, if I had a budget to do a Super Bowl, you could do a greater show. I just think of that, like you said, I had the privilege of seeing Purple Rain. I had the privilege of seeing Michael Jackson, and I'm just a person for excellence. So I think Chris Brown is way overdue. I don't know how everybody feel about Chris Brown personally, but Chris Brown is way overdue. So when I look at the Super Bowl, I think the person who should be performing is the person that nobody is better than. And I could think of several artists that could have done a better job. But shout out to Bad Bunny and the entire Latin community. I would give this a 4. I would give it a 4 in performance.
Okay,
I
so okay, he gave it a 4. He gave it a 4. He said shout out to him, but they gave it a 4. Listen, I'm gonna keep. To be honest, I get where he's coming from. With the budget that they do have, I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, I don't. In comparison, now I do think we got to be fair. You are comparing them to Prince and Michael Jackson. Okay, I mean that the bar's pretty high when you're comparing anybody to Prince and Michael Jackson. It's super high. I get it. I really do. Um, but let's be honest. Some of the Super Bowl, like lately, I'm not gonna lie. Since Jay-Z started running it, uh, the Super Bowl halftime show ain't really hit like that. I mean, I liked Usher's performance. I did like Usher's performance. I did like not Chris Brown. I did like Kendrick's. I love Kendrick's performance. I think they did great. I think some of the artists do great, but I can see how from where he's talking about the deterioration. Because I'm gonna be honest, the Super Bowl halftime show shouldn't be a hit or miss. It really shouldn't be a hit or miss. You should know that the Super Bowl halftime show is going to be the best performance, flat out, period. Okay, and bar none. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? In the last few years, the Super Bowl. Who do y'all think? I don't know. The Super Bowl halftime performance wasn't it? I don't say any of them were maybe bad per se. Maybe he's a tougher critic than I am. Maybe because of his field or expertise or whatever. But a lot of that, they're not really making the mark in history like they used to in the past. You know what I'm saying? They're not really not doing that. I don't think like 15 years from now, people are going to be pulling up Katy Perry's Super Bowl halftime show. Or Jennifer Lopez and Shakira. I don't people not even talking about that no more. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying maybe y'all should listen to him. Maybe he's a tougher critic than I am, but a lot of people was feeling that way. A lot of people was feeling that way. Like, hey man, let's get that FBA talent and skill and artistry back in here. But there's this thing where we were supposed to, as a community, get in line with Bad Bunny, and we were supposed to really cheer him on and be super ecstatic and happy and glad and proud and feel represented by him. And there were some people who was just kind of mad. They're kind of upset that the community in and of itself is not really rocking with the Bad Bunny thing like that. Ain't nobody really hit. It didn't really hit to a lot of people. Look at this.
Folks to come to the front. I need all y'all come to the front and sit down. I need all my black folks to come to the front. I need all y'all come to the front and sit down in the front row seats, okay? Because just like I call out the Caucasians, I am going to call out the black community as well. Because I think a lot of you purposely missed the point of Bad Bunny's performance last night at the Super Bowl. Now, I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I didn't watch no parts of it, honey. I didn't watch anything. I didn't watch the halftime show. I didn't watch any of that. I was at home trying to catch up on Handmaid's Tale. I've never seen it. Everybody talk about it, saying we living in those times. So I was on season 2, okay? And I didn't catch anything. But I did see a lot of the commentary, a lot of people's opinions, and I will call out Chris Brown. Now, listen, as much as I love you down, all right, you are an awesome, awesome singer and performer. Great, fabulous talent. What you posted, I believe that was on your IG. What you posted on your stories, I can't get with, Chris. I can't get with, only because I think you also missed the message. You know, a lot of people feel like the halftime show is for entertainment, and you're absolutely right. Everybody want to see the halftime show because of the performance, the entertainment. I get it. But you also have to adjust your mind and understand what's really going on. In the world that we live in right now, with us being under this administration, there's a lot of crap that's going on. And we are being shunned and our voices are being taken away. What is the biggest way that we can send a message if we can't do it on an everyday basis? Just like Kendrick Lamar, Bad Bunny took the opportunity to send a message, especially with everything that's going on with Ice Cubes out here. He took that time in that moment, just like with Keith Lee and what he did. I believe that was on the Grammys, where he was asked about what's the best food in LA. I believe the reporter asked him, and he didn't answer that question at all. He completely flipped it and gave his 2 cents about what's going on in this world, right? What better way to send a message if they're going to shut us up, if they're going to shut us up via social media, if they are going to try to tone down our voices, and we are not able to speak, and we can't do what they call it, you know, because TikTok, they're minimizing our voices on here, right? So you can't say certain words, you can't do certain things, right? So how can we get the message out there? You don't want us to do these walks, if you will. Y'all know what I mean. You don't want us to do these walks. You out here trying to harm folks when they trying to, you know, use freedom of speech. Y'all know what's going on with Ice Cubes and all of the unalivings and all of the things. They're trying to shut us out. So the best way for us to still get our opinions across is to do it live on one of the biggest platforms. And a lot of y'all miss that because you chose entertainment over something that's important, what's going on in the world. Let's put the entertainment and the fun aside. I also want to say this, because I don't like the fact that a lot of us black folks got upset because it was in Spanish and you didn't understand. Because it was dedicated to the Latin community and the Spanish community, and because you wasn't a part of it, you want to just completely just dismiss it. What if it was someone that was not of color that went on that stage, okay? And they, with everything that goes on with the black community that has always gone on with the black community, and they made a dedication to Black Americans, especially with it being Black History Month. Let's say, you know, a Caucasian person went up there and made a complete tribute to Black America. A lot of us will be hooting, hollering, yes, like thank you for waking up and seeing us, and thank you for acknowledging. Y'all will be so excited. Y'all will be so happy. You will feel so appreciative that someone who is not the same color as you gave acknowledgement to you. Why we can't do that for the Latin community? I know a lot of you are going to say it's a Super Bowl, it's nowhere for politics and all of the things.
Let me stop, because she goes on for a minute. We gotta break that down. Okay. First of all, a lot of people are not upset. I'm not really seeing people be all like, man, I like Bad Bunny before, but that performance sucked. It was terrible. It was a lot of people like, okay. Man, it was underwhelming. You know what I'm saying? It was. But the thing is that if it's not for us, if it's in a completely different language, which Bad Bunny knew, if it was in a completely different language, What expectation do you have of people? If I sing to somebody or do a performance in another language of another culture, I'm not going to expect those people from that other language and culture to really resonate with what I'm saying. If his message was curated for Latinos, okay, cool. It's not for us. He made that abundantly clear. He was not trying to be inclusionary. He was not. All of that, he tried to bring everybody together. He didn't try to bring us together. Stop doing that. Don't say that, because he wasn't doing that. His message was for the purpose of Latinos. Cool. And all we say is, hey, I mean, it wasn't, and I ain't feeling it. Oh, how could you say that? How could you say you didn't like it? How could you say you didn't love it? How could you say it wasn't the best thing ever? Because it wasn't. It wasn't. He didn't try to even make it the best thing ever for everybody. He didn't even attempt to do that. Okay? What do you get mad that we don't like something that they like? Every single time we do something, you always get somebody of their community hating on it. Remember Sinners? Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up. Remember Sinners, when the movie Sinners came out last year, and how they were hating on it. There was a whole bunch of them sitting up there talking about, oh man, what, there's no Latinos and there's no Latino inclusion. I don't have the clip on me. There's no Latino every time we do something, Kendrick, they was like, damn, I mean, you could have included Latinos. They always do that. They did that with Black Panther. They did that with Sinners. They did that with Kendrick Lamar's thing. Every single thing we do that's about us is always, you ain't gonna let us have nothing. You ain't gonna add us in there. We can't have a little bit, no type of inclusion, no type of representation. It's complaints. They don't celebrate our win unless they feel attached to it. They don't. Period. Point blank, period. Unless they feel in some way this is going to elevate their community, even by proxy, they do not celebrate no Black victory. Ain't no people of color to them, ain't no minority to them, ain't no Black and brown to them, and we all know it. But we're supposed to sit up there and celebrate. We're not denigrating, but celebrate their victory as if it's our victory. No. He didn't do that for us. It's not our victory. No. No. Okay. Then she's going to say, well, if somebody from outside of our community, if a white person did something for the halftime show and whoever gave a shout out to Black people, we would be hooping and hollering like, oh, we feel so appreciated and so recognized. And so, no, we wouldn't. No. I'm not asking for nobody outside of my community to represent me or give me no shout out or give me no applause or anything like that. I'm not asking for that. I'm not asking for no recognition from anybody else. No, we not. No, we wouldn't be sitting up there like, oh my God, thank you. You see our pain. See, that's them. That's them. They want to sit up there and be crying, and be like, do you finally understand where I came from? Like, no, they don't. It don't matter if they understand or not. I don't care. But what are you getting? She said in the very beginning of the video, she's gonna call Black people out for what? You gonna call us out for what? It was not that good. It wasn't. Hold on, let me get this video up for you guys. Hold on. It's gonna take a little second. Let me get this up. It wasn't. And I want you to understand this thing, like she said, it was political, and the Super Bowl and all of this stuff is supposed to be political. Okay. Yet it's also supposed to be entertaining. Yet it's also supposed to be something people can connect to. People was able to be entertained by Kendrick and his Super Bowl performance and get the message. People were not able to do that. That's nobody but Bad Bunny's fault. Okay, Bad Bunny made the Super Bowl performance he wanted, and that was not inclusionary of us. And I'm not going to sit up here and have my community shamed and reprimanded, not celebrating the very exclusive Super Bowl halftime performance for somebody else because it's their victory. No, I'm not doing that because every time we do something, y'all sitting up there nagging at us for inclusion. And if y'all don't nag, y'all don't celebrate with us. I don't see no propaganda where Latino are like, I'm just so glad that Black people are having this moment. They don't do it. And we know they don't do it. The only time they're happy, and I'm not just talking about Latinos, I'm talking about all of these people of color, okay, in these other minorities. The only time you them, hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. What's this? Oh boy. Hold on. Am I good now? Am I good now? Am I good now? Damn, I was cooking. Why they do that to me? Why they do that to me? I was cooking. They do that to me on purpose, y'all. Y'all gotta make sure y'all hit the like button. Somebody saying no. Somebody saying no. Y'all hit the like button. Everybody, let's just take a second and hit the like button. Let the algorithm know they need to make sure this is the way it's supposed to be. Make sure they know it's the way it's supposed to be. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I was getting this video loaded, but I'm not gonna do that no more. I'm gonna find another way. Okay. It's all right. It's okay. We always adapt. We always do that. But I'm saying that they don't celebrate our stuff no more. They or at all, period. But hold on, let me pull this up. And let me pull this up for you guys. Because there's a lot of people who are out here quite literally angry that we're not out there celebrating and hooping and hollering. I don't know what they want us to celebrate. We can't sing along to it. Can we sing along to it? We can't sing along to none of the songs. How are we gonna celebrate? We gonna sing their song? We don't know their song to celebrate the song. So how we gonna what is there for us to celebrate? But folk are mad. Hold on, look at this. Hold on. I want you to see this guy. Here we go. I have to pull this up on the fly, but I can do that. Look at this.
Disappointed in Black people's I am overly disappointed in Black people's response to the Super Bowl. And I'm so disappointed at how Black people are responding, given that we needed moments like those. We understand what needing a moment and having a moment feels like. So when another minority community has a moment, why are we not celebrating that? Why would we not celebrate another minority community having a moment? It just feels hella selfish. A lot of you guys' perspective on the world is this small. You don't realize it's 20,000 different perspectives around you. The Super Bowl is not just for Black people. We had Usher. We got Rihanna. We got Kendrick Lamar last year. And when Kendrick Lamar was doing all that symbolic stuff about America, you know what white people were saying? Oh, I don't understand that. That was just... And we was defending that. Because he was putting on. So, if anything, Black people should understand what it's like to have a moment. And for y'all to get up here and diss Bad Bunny and diss the whole Super Bowl because you don't know Spanish is fake to me. I feel like minority to minority, struggle to struggle, Hispanics and Black people are very similar in a lot of ways. Not saying we're the same, not saying we went through the same things, but we're very, very similar. And it's just like y'all, like we creating this whole divide, like, oh, I don't understand that. That's like we're acting like white people. We're acting like the white people when Black people get up on stage and do something and white people respond that way. We're responding the same way when Bad Bunny did this thing. We're responding the same way the white people respond to us. Like black people are really claiming Super Bowl like this isn't American football. Nigga, this ain't for you. You really going the Super Bowl ain't for us. And you really y'all have adopted this mindset like the Super Bowl is for black people. It's not. Do you know the people that own the Super Bowl, the NFL? None of them are black. They do this for money. They don't care about you. So for you to claim American football, claim this is not the football I know. It's not, because it's not for you, gang. I'm disappointed in a lot of y'all. So I am overly
All right. Apologies. The video was choppy, whatever. But listen, first off, hold on. I gotta do it for everybody. I gotta do it for the culture. Absolutely not. No. First of all, no, all this, I'm disappointed that we don't celebrate. No, we are not obligated to celebrate nothing for nobody else. We're not obligated to sit up there and celebrate. The reason why they're mad, and we don't know his background, but I'm suspicious now. But the reason why they're mad is because they thought that this was going to be their Kendrick Lamar moment. They thought that this was going to be their, oh my God, iconic Michael Jackson Prince moment. And it wasn't, and it fell flat. And we discussed that earlier in the live stream. It didn't. It missed that mark. Okay. I'm not saying that it's not going to be remembered, but it missed that mark. That's what I do know. And they're sitting up there, why are black people? Because look, as people of the culture, right? People of the soil, okay, the grassroots, we determine if something is legendary or not. We're the judge who gives a thumbs up or a thumbs down to entertainment. We're the ones who like, kind of like that. We're the ones who decided that. So they need us to make it this cultural impacting cultural phenomenon that they wanted it to be. And we just saying, we're just saying, we're not out here making several videos like, oh, that Super Bowl sucks. I can't believe it. Boring. We didn't do that. Now, that's what they were doing to Kendrick. And I don't like the whole, every time we don't sit up there and cape for other, and notice they do this with only Foundation Black Americans only. But every time we don't cape for other minorities, they say we're acting like the white people. They say, well, that's just like how white people treat. That's just how. No. Y'all need to stop letting them do that. All of that, this 2026, man, we're making Black history by stopping that. All of that, y'all trying to gaslight and shame us into now uplifting everybody else, even though it's never reciprocal. But we get shamed and gaslit into uplifting everybody and their mama. And if we don't, is, man, y'all know that's what y'all acting like the white man now. That's what the white man be doing. The white man don't like it. You just acting. No, because we're not pulling nobody down. We just not lifting nobody up any longer. And the entitlement that we have to support anybody else, they don't support us like this. We got to get it out the mud by ourselves, for ourselves. By us, for us, talk about some FUBU, and we gotta help them do it. They don't gotta get it by themselves. No. What are you mad? No, I'm just disappointed. Disappointed? What? Notice that it was this thing because it was supposed to be us. We were the ones supposed to be making the Super Bowl this super huge phenomenon. No, it wasn't. And you're not going to sit up there and shame us. You're not going to do that. The whole black people need to do better. No. Ain't no black people need to do better nothing. Okay? We don't. He didn't do it for black people. He didn't care to include black people. Okay? And here's the thing. If y'all got it like that, y'all wouldn't be checking for us anyway. y'all wouldn't be checking for our support. When Kendrick Lamar was on stage last year, we weren't checking for, well, where's the Latino support? Where's the Asian support? Where's the minority support? Where's all of the other minorities? Why are you guys not helping us? We didn't do that. We didn't do that. Do y'all remember their videos? Most of us didn't care what these other minorities thought about Kendrick. Okay? The only reason we knew about white people and them because they was making videos about how upset they were and trying to find cease and desist letters and trying to find something to do. That's the only reason. But for the most part, when we pop off, we don't really need anybody else's approval. We don't need their cosign. We don't need their inclusion. We don't need their support. We don't need that. We get it. We get it, whether they support it or don't, whether they see it or don't. It doesn't make a difference. Okay? If they're here, cool. If they're not, cool. And if they're not here, we're not going to sit up there. I'm disappointed. Where are you guys at? We don't do that. So why every time they do something, we got to just show their support? And then it's like, guys, come on. Y'all know y'all needed to be there. No. I also don't like the fact that this standard of supporting your fellow minority is only upheld when you're talking about foundational Black Americans. I don't like that because I have yet to ever see any minority, Asian, Hispanic, Middle Eastern, whatever. I've yet to see any of them get up on their profile and denigrate their community. Talk about, man, Hispanics, I really got to call y'all out for this one. Man, Asian community, I really got to call y'all out for this one. Man, Arab community or Palestinian community, I really got to call y'all out for this one. Why are you guys not supporting Black people? I haven't seen that. I haven't. They don't do that. They don't get up on a platform and criticize their community and wag their finger at their community for lack of support when it comes to foundational Black Americans. They don't. Okay? I've never seen them hold their community to the standard of supporting us, to the obligation to support us. The way we got people in our community want to hold us to this standard and obligation and duty to support everybody else. No. I don't see. When Sinners came out, you had Hispanics hating on Sinners. I ain't seen no Hispanic be all like, hey, Latinos, we got to support Michael B. Jordan. We got to support Ryan Coogler. And we got to support the Sinners movie. And I'm disappointed that you guys are not support. You didn't see that then. You didn't see that with Black Panther. You didn't see that then when that movie came out. They was talking about, damn, where's mine? Where's our Black Panther? There's no Latino inclusion. That's what they were saying. When Kendrick Lamar, you weren't seeing them sitting up there like, I'm disappointed in my community. I got to call y'all out. Why are you guys not supporting Black people, other minorities? No. See, this one-way minority road that we are obligated to help y'all out and give y'all a boost. And then when it comes to us, y'all are never present, if not hating, which is most of the time, hating on what we do. It's over with. It's done. That's done. It's over with. We have no obligation. And if Bad Bunny's thing was really popping like that, you wouldn't be making that video. If Bad Bunny's thing was such a cultural phenomenon, you wouldn't be making that video. You wouldn't be making a video calling out people for not supporting if his thing landed the way y'all wanted it to land. If it landed that well, y'all wouldn't be calling nobody out. For instance, we didn't have to call nobody out for not supporting Kendrick because Kendrick stuck the landing. And when you stick the landing, it don't matter who was there to support. The job was accomplished, mission accomplished. We didn't get mad at nobody for not supporting Sinners. Ryan Coogler stuck the landing. Michael B. Jordan stuck the landing. We didn't need nobody else's support. The reason why y'all want our support is because y'all didn't stick the landing. That's the reason. Otherwise, y'all would be too happy to be upset. Y'all didn't stick the landing. And whose fault is that? Y'all the ones, or Bad Bunny rather, he's the one who wanted to make it exclusionary. Okay? And then, like I said again, we wasn't out here really hating. We was just like, yeah, it's okay. We don't see it.
The Bad Bunny halftime show was a 10 out of 10.
Out here either we don't know.
The Bad Bunny halftime show was a 10 out of 10. Why the fuck were y'all hating on Bad Bunny? I'm genuinely starting.
Let's be honest, it's a lot of these people try
to think a lot of y'all are racist. Y'all try to portray the
message. They stream numbers up, and they trying to get
that just because Bad Bunny
stop playing. For real. When I press pause, they trying to get their scream numbers up or profile numbers up and all of that. Trying to do that. So here they go caping for the Hispanic community.
Bad Bunny halftime show was a 10 out of 10. Why the fuck were y'all hating on Bad Bunny? I'm genuinely starting to think a lot of y'all are racist. Y'all try to portray the message that just because Bad Bunny sings his songs in Spanish, that the halftime show was gonna be ass. That shit was fire. Like, to all of us non-Latinos and Latinas, bro, Bad Bunny really portrayed
Oh man, I wish we could.
The fucking Latino lifestyle so well. He really showed the beauty in y'all's lifestyle, bro. And honestly, bro, that was a beautiful performance. The Latin culture is so amazing. I ain't gonna lie, y'all are top 2 people. Like, the visuals was amazing, bro. It was so colorful, bright, and vibrant.
Okay, well, keep playing like this, you know. If it's gonna keep playing like this, we don't gotta do that. But yeah, you have people hating, dude. Okay, you listen. The show is over with. It's over with. Why are you trying to sell us on a show that's already over with? Notice they're trying to sell us. Oh, it was great. This was this. This was this. This was this. This was this. No, it didn't hit. It didn't hit. And there might be a Latina you trying to impress or something like that. Be all like, "Ooh, you." When you see that happen, especially when let's call a spade a spade. Let's tell the truth. Let's tell the truth. Let's tell the truth. Normally, when you see a young brother like that, who's doing that, all of that super caping, he trying to get a Latina. He trying to impress the Latinas and everything like that. He trying to make himself seem like he's an ally or something like that. And now he's going above and beyond. Okay? It's either that or he's part Hispanic or an immigrant himself. Those are the only 2 things. When you see a brother going above and beyond like that, okay, I don't understand the Latina community. Y'all top 2. Nah, bro. Yeah. Even the guy before, it's certain words that they say. It's certain words that they say when they try to like really, the Latina community. We learn so much about their culture and about this, and they're so connected to us. Nah, that's because you, and notice, all of them, they had a whole bunch of Latinos in there cheering them on and giving them a bunch of likes. They had 100,000 likes and all of that stuff. Yeah, okay. All right, dude. I'm going to tell you right now. Brothers, let me tell y'all something. And this goes for all cultures, period. All cultures, all women, just women in general, females, period. Across all different races and cultures and ethnicities. Let me tell you something. They do not, all of them, like panderers. They don't. None of them do. None of them do. None of them do. There's a bunch of sisters, they don't. All of that, you sitting up there groveling and scaping and crawling, they don't like panderers. None of them like panderers. Okay, you try to sell your culture short or you trying to reprimand your community out of lack of support for that and all of that stuff, all of that pandering, and you kind of doing extra, and you shucking and jiving and bucking your eyes and all of that stuff. Don't no woman like that, of no race, of no culture, all right? You reprimanding your community for not supporting their community, that's not gonna make them like you, bro. Okay. It's not gonna make them like you. It's really not. Okay. They don't like, women don't like panderers, dude. You don't know that by now. You don't know that by now. Let me get to the super chats before we continue. Cause there's something else we gotta talk about, right? Was a couple other things, right? Herc says it's extremely offensive to compare Bad Bunny to MJ, which is what they've been trying to do for a while. I've already made a video years ago about Bad Bunny, them trying to compare him to MJ. So they've been trying to compare MJ or Bad Bunny to MJ for a while now, and they can't hit that mark. Okay, Miss Nisi says, Afro, in my opinion, or my opinion only, on Bad Bunny Super Bowl performance. It says, plus, I didn't watch the Super Bowl. She said, yeah, she said, plus, I didn't watch it. Trust me, you didn't miss nothing. You didn't miss anything. You didn't even miss anything if you didn't watch the whole game. The game wasn't even really that exciting, to be honest. Okay, Nubian says, I felt like I was watching live action of Rio. I loved it. Okay, that's cool. Everything didn't have to be for us. I still support ICE. And look, I'm not saying it was bad. I didn't say it was bad. I didn't say it was bad. I'm just giving you guys from a cultural expert. I'm just giving you guys the reason why it's not hitting the way they wanted to, culturally speaking. It's not hitting the way they wanted it to, because they wanted to hit more than Kendrick, and it didn't. It didn't. Okay. But I'm sure if I was Puerto Rican, I would have loved it. And he probably can. I mean, he has a lot of fans. He probably can sing really well. He probably can put on a good performance. Okay. But you got to understand, I'm not. So to a lot of us, we got like, ugh. And what's troubling for them is that our culture are the ones who determine whether things are hot or not. Our culture is. Not Puerto Ricans, not Mexicans, not any Latinos, not the Afro-Caribbeans, not the Caribbeans, not the Africans, nobody else. It's our culture that determines if something is big and popping and fire or, yeah. We're the ones who determine that. So that's unfortunate for them. You can make an appeal to anybody you want to. You can make an appeal to everybody excluding us. But at the end of the day, we the ones who determine if it's going to stay in the book of legend or not. That's us. We are the gatekeepers of the books of legends. Okay, not y'all. Now, black male pimp, he says most black men who are caping for Bad Bunny are doing it because they are secretly simping for Latinas. We know. Come on, we know the game. We know it. They are worse than Myron Gaines. We know it. We know it. They got a Latina crush or a girlfriend or something, and they trying to do all that. Now, what's crazy about that, and why I tell you, women don't like panderers and simps or nothing like that, because you don't see, period, ever, you don't see any Latino who's dating a black man. You don't see her getting on her community about not being inclusionary of black people. You don't see her doing that. You don't see any Latino dating a black person who gets on their community, who criticizes their community, calls their community out for their lack of support or anti-black racism against black people at all, period. Every time you see a black and Latina couple, you only see the black person kind of going above and beyond for the Latina approval. You only see it going that way. You only see it going that way. Okay, if it's going either way, it's going towards the Latina. Other than that, they might be just doing what they're doing or whatever the case is. But you never see the Latina leaning towards the black side in a way of criticizing her community. You don't see that. They won't do that. I'm talking about from J-Lo to Cardi B to nobody. They ain't gonna do it. But you will have the brother be all like, I'm disappointed in my community. We need to do better. Like, you will see that. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. We gonna call it out. Okay, all this lying in 2026 gonna stop. Okay. Natural Living, Health, and Well says, all of these people are using clickbait to get views. This year's Super Bowl, the game, and the halftime show was a disappointment. It was, man. It was. And the game, don't get me started on the game. The game wasn't really hitting on nothing either. The game wasn't really hitting on nothing. Because you're doing this at a time when we're going through a cultural renaissance. You're doing this at a time when you're trying to give this very immigrant empowerment statement. The same thing you did at the Grammys. You're trying to give this empowerment statement about immigrants and all of that, which is why you're having this whole, if you saw on the football, he had this whole together we are America. Okay. Together we are America. Okay. All right. I mean, I think it gives mixed signals when you have like a whole bunch of non-American, like foreign flags, like several foreign flags right behind that, and saying that together. Are you talking about the continents? The American continents? Are you talking about the country? Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? It just, it's not really hitting the way it needs to. Hold on, this thing just popped up on my screen. I gotta find a way to get that. Let's stop that. Hold on. So ad just popped up. It's really not. It's not. Okay. But they want us to say the whole we are America thing in this inclusion, in this empowerment of immigrants. And it's not working because we are not immigrants. And they're trying to create some tricky language to put us all in, as we're all big immigrants. We're all immigrants, voluntary or involuntary. Now, Shabuzi, we already discussed Shabuzi, right? Let me see. Joe Budden was talking about Shabuzi, and this talking point came up that I want to discuss, all right? The narrative of involuntary immigrants. Okay? I want to discuss that.
They're on his ass for that little speech.
Why? What did he say?
He said that immigrants built this country.
Oh, yeah. They did.
Along with black people.
Yeah,
enslaved Africans.
Yeah, slaves and
Now, Mark is not, if y'all didn't know, Mark is not FBA. Mark is a tether. Okay? And he's already came out and publicly said both of his parents are from the Caribbean. So Mark is a tether. If y'all didn't know that, some people might not have known that, but Mark has already publicly came out and said both his folks are from the Caribbean and Mark is a tether. So Mark is a tether. Okay? But notice how he says, along with black people. Right? Along with black people. Okay? We're going to get on that after the video.
Yeah.
There's always got to add that when they start saying immigrants.
I mean, immigrants, whether voluntary or involuntary.
Fair.
We built this bitch. Yeah.
Both. I'm glad he said that. He needed to say that.
I'm glad he said that. I'm sure you are glad he said that. I'm sure he is.
Good shit. Happy Black History Month, y'all.
You disagree?
Yeah.
Here you go. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of context missing to that, but y'all ain't gonna trick me into having that.
Now, Joe Budden, and this is not Joe Budden's first time kinda somewhat being on Lineage Business. It's not his first time. Joe Budden is kind of known to be the only one to do that, which is why he doesn't want to go there. I don't know why Joe Budden doesn't really want to have that conversation for whatever reason. But notice how everybody in the room agreed. Everybody in the room pretty much was all like, yeah, Joe Budden is the only one who took issue with the statement. And he was like, I disagree with that. Now, I don't like his critique. We'll okay. We'll let it play.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of context missing to that, but y'all ain't gonna trick me into having the FBA conversation right here.
So he already knows the FBA conversation. He already knows that. He says there's a lot of context missing. I wouldn't say context missing. It was a false statement. Immigrants built this country is a false statement. It's not Oh, I almost dropped my cup. It's not missing context. You're not excluding a very important factor in it. You're just making a false statement, period.
Because that's what they're gonna say I'm doing. I'm not gonna do it.
Well, I'm the only one that say that.
Yeah, but you spread that and then they put that out there.
Right. Well, if you say whatever you say, I'm not gonna say it this time.
I'm not saying nothing. They got them. They got them. I think, and I'm not mad at him. I think those were great words. I think those were great words and a great message. I don't think he was intending to offend anybody or make anybody mad. But to say that, he should have said some more. Just as
Okay. I don't know if Bad Bunny, not Bad Bunny. I don't know if Joe doesn't want to like create no controversy or seem like he's dissing or jumping on the anti-Shabuzi bandwagon, which is kind of what it's coming off like. He doesn't want to like jump on the anti-Shabuzi bandwagon, but he's like, yeah, those are great words. Okay, you ain't got to really sugarcoat it, Joe. You ain't got to show. Those are great words. You just needed to add more. No, those were not great words. Those were very not great words. Those were wrong words. Okay. And he needed to not say anything close to what he said. All right. So all of this kind of sugarcoating, like, oh, no, I just got a small little critique. Like, stop doing
that.
He grouped it all together. And that's where a lot of people, you can't do that. That's what the problem.
Slaves are not immigrants. You keep looking at me. Sometimes
that's
slaves
the
are not
distinction.
immigrants.
Did you hear what I said? I said whether voluntary or involuntary. So the involuntary people were slaves that were stolen and brought here.
Okay. They keep trying to put us in the same boat as immigrants. There's a deliberate thing, and this is why you see in a lot of people in the media start to resurface the term African American, like Don Lemon or the woman before. And I'm telling you guys that because they understand that right now, culturally, we're putting that term to rest, to bed. We're retiring that, which is culturally what we've done before. We used to be referred to as Negro. We used to be referred to as colored. We don't refer to each other as colored anymore. We don't do that. Okay. Tyler had to learn that the hard way. We don't do that. We retire things and then we evolve and we have a cultural revolution and then we, refer to each other as something different then. Okay. We don't refer to each other as colored and we're really not referring to each other as African American anymore. And there's this narrative that they keep trying to revitalize the word African American. They keep trying to. So you're only seeing the word African American be used by either two things, two types of people. Either one, by somebody who's trying to hide behind that word, hide their lineage behind the technicality of the word African American or term African American. So they're cosplaying, that's one. Or two, this is coming from like some mainstream corporate media that wants to keep the term African American in the lexicon because they know, as far as, like I said, we're the ones who determine whether things stay or things go, whether things make it in the history books or things don't. So terms, all our slang, anything pretty much, period, if we don't keep it in the lexicon, it's going to fade away. And the term African American is fading out of the lexicon, and they want the term to stay in there. So there's this corporate media thing that keeps trying to push the term African American, which is why you kept hearing Don Lemon say that, as he was also using grassroots talking points, okay, and verbiage. But he was using African American to make it seem like, yeah, we still refer to ourselves as African American. No. That word is fading out of the lexicon. It's pretty much completely gone culturally. And that was even fading when it comes to pretty much political representation as well, too. All right. So that's fading out. And they don't like that. The thing Mark said about immigrants, well, immigrants also built this country. No. Or black people built it too. No. Y'all keep trying to give immigrants credit where credit is not due. I'm not a hater. I've let y'all know that for many, many years. I'm not a hater. I will give people credit where credit is due. I do it all the time. I have no problem giving people credit where credit is due. I don't. Okay? I'm not going to sit up there and lie about credit that you don't deserve. I'm not doing that. All right? Listen, there were parts that immigrants were here for in this country when it comes to building. There was no part of any phase of this country that we were not a part of. There was not a phase, there was not a moment of time, there was not an institution, there was not anything at all that this country had ever been involved in, had ever done, had ever accomplished, had ever survived, that we were not there for. All of the major events and all of the major stepping stones and all of the foundation and the bricks and the building and the structure and the framing was done before y'all got here. It was done before you got here. Okay? Y'all just came for the decorations. We the ones who got not only baked the cake, we the ones who got the egg, got the flour, got the sugar, got all of that stuff. We the ones who mixed it together. We're the ones who added the flavor and all of that stuff. We're the ones who layered the cake on top of each other. We really, to be honest, decorated the cake too. And then y'all were there and y'all put some sprinkles on. And then y'all want to say we made this cake? No. If you didn't get here until after the cake was made, how did you make the cake? If you got here looking for opportunities, how'd you build the country? And they want us to, and they don't want us to have this distinction. They want us to all be immigrants. That's what they want. That's why when we say, we're not African, people get upset with that because they know Africans are immigrants. And they want us to, even though we're not, they want us to think of ourselves as immigrants. That's what they want. They want us to think of ourselves as immigrants. And we're not doing that no more. And the more we're not doing that, the more people are going to have to be forced, really, to acknowledge foundational Black Americans distinctly. All right? They have to. Now, I'm going to play this again just because it's Black History Month. But we already discussed
we're highlighting foundation.
This was a segment from ABC that was taken down. It was a very positive segment for Black History Month from ABC, and it was taken down. Let me just give you guys a reminder, or maybe show you guys for the first time if you guys haven't seen it.
On this Black History Month, we're highlighting foundational Black Americans whose ingenuity, innovations, and labor play a critical role in American culture and infrastructure, including Alexander Miles, who invented automatic elevator doors in 1887, and Garrett Morgan, who invented the 3-light traffic signal in 1923. And our next guest is working to ensure that foundational Black Americans' contributions are known.
Before the modern day toilet, the can, the pot, the throne, the john, whatever you call it, going to the bathroom used to be messy, uncomfortable, it smelled bad, and it could also spread disease. All that began to change because the foundational Black American invented the modern indoor toilet, and his name was Thomas Elkin.
Yeah, thank goodness for Thomas Elkin. And that is just one of many videos made by author and creator of Foundational Black American Legacy, Teresa Allman.
Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. That was nice. That was nice. Okay. ABC took it down. A lot of people have theorized because ABC has not came out with an announcement as to why they took it down, what the reason was. A lot of people are like, maybe was the DNC, did they get a call? Was this supposed to be a Black History Month thing? Which a lot of people are thinking like maybe this was supposed to be a segment, but they weren't supposed to say foundational Black Americans because, mind you, they have consistently been trying to frame foundational Black Americans, especially the left has consistently been trying to frame just the term foundational Black Americans, even though it's a lineage, but the term for the lineage, okay, as some type of alt-right hate group that hates Africa, that's nationalistic and all of that stuff. They keep trying to frame it that way, okay? And it's just the lineage. And now that they have something out there that's productive, that they can't say, because even when Tucker Carlson, even though we're not no supporters of Tucker Carlson, but even when Tucker Carlson acknowledged, like, hey, I mean, they do got a point, they was all like, well, that's Tucker Carlson. That's Tucker Carlson. So you guys are MAGA. You guys are MAGA. You guys are recognized by Tucker Carlson. Okay. No, that doesn't make us MAGA. That doesn't mean we agree with Tucker politically on anything. However, an acknowledgement. Okay, all right. Y'all are they're upset that he acknowledged it. I'm gonna tell you why in a second. They're upset at this because after this, and it's gone super viral, millions of views. They took it down. It's too late. It's in my hard drive already. It's in a lot of people's hard drives. It's in a lot of people's phones already. Taking it down is not going to do anything. It's not going to help you. It's already out there. Too many people have already seen it. There's nothing you can do. Nothing. Okay. It's just like the whole Kamala video where she said no to reparations. Oh, that's in my hard drive. Oh, that's not going nowhere. You'd have to scrape that from all of the internet and from people's personal devices. You can't do it. You can't do that. Okay? It's already out there. So whether this was a slip or anything, could be. They could get that thing like, damn, yeah, we said something about FBA, but we didn't know it was going to blow up like this. This is sending the wrong message, and they don't want this message to be out because once you recognize foundational Black Americans, okay, and it's not because they do it giving us a shout out, they're doing this, and the reason why a lot of people were happy is because we have pushed and forced foundational Black American into the popular lexicon, which shows that we as the culture, we are the determining factor of what gets popularized, what gets recognized, what gets realized, and what doesn't. We made foundational Black American into the lexicon against all odds. Everybody's all like, y'all Russian bots, y'all a hate group, y'all MAGA, y'all only exist online. You can't say that anymore. We're this fringe group of people that will never be recognized. You can't say that anymore. Too many people of big name, of big note, ABC, Tucker Carlson, The Breakfast Club, too many people are saying it now. Too many people know it now. Okay? And it comes to this point, they're upset about it because they can't take this segment. The reason why they're upset about this is they can't take this segment and spin it in a negative way. That's the reason they're mad. Talking about Black history, our inventions, our contributions to society and really the world, they can't make that a negative thing. There's no way you can put any type of negative spin on that. You had a very educated Black woman who talked about the toilet, something everybody needs. You can't, it's impossible to put a negative spin on that. It's possible. It's impossible. And that's what makes them mad. Okay? Is because the message is out of their control. okay? And they looked at that as a concession. And they're happy that it's gone because they feel like, and a lot of tethers were celebrating that it was gone because they feel like now that it's gone, that means that that moment is erased or they've apologized for it. It's too late now. Y'all can't spin it. It's seeping through, okay? And is what you're upset about, what they're upset about is it's seeping through and it's delineating, it's distinguishing that we're not immigrants. The idea, whether you use Foundation Black American, Freeman, whatever you want to use, the social consciousness, not only among Black people, but among everybody is awakening. And they can't stop that. They can't stop it because no matter what they want to call us and what they want to say about us, what they want to do, they can't stop because we're spreading the message to everybody and everybody's tuning their frequency. Everybody's getting in alignment. Everything's falling in order the way it's supposed to. Everybody's falling in order the way they're supposed to, and they don't have control over it anymore. The narrative that we are not immigrants, they're losing that grip, okay? More and more, they feel that grip slipping away, that there is no difference between an immigrant and an FBA. There's no difference. They can try to say, well, we're all immigrants because you guys aren't native here. Actually, you know what I'm saying? You can talk to the Creek Indians about the damn lawsuit that they just lost. Why you want to call it, say, we're not native, we're not Indians. Why are the $5 Indians losing all these lawsuits then? If we're not, I just ask you that. Why? They're the ones, they got all of the paperwork, they're losing lawsuits. We're actually winning the law. How is that possible? For people who are pretending, how is that possible? Okay. Oh well, we're an immigrant, but you're an involuntary immigrant. No, no. You can't be an involuntary immigrant to a country you built. No. The narrative and the message that we are not immigrants is out of their control. They're losing that control, and that's very important that they do. Very important, because when they lose the narrative that immigrants and foundational Black Americans are separate, therefore they can't use the buffer class, because they've been using that we're all the same minority as a buffer class, as a way to filter us and put us at the bottom and keep us subjugated. They can't do that anymore. Now that you've recognized whether it was accidental or on purpose or whatever, us distinctly, now we got to be handled and addressed distinctly. So this is going to help our cause for reparations. Okay? Us seeing ourselves as immigrants, whether that's lost Africans, whether that's immigrants, involuntary, whatever the case is, that's been holding us back politically and even culturally. But now that we recognize that we are not immigrants, and we're not going to go for this, we're all immigrants, we're not going anymore. Now, y'all losing control of the narrative, okay? And that means we're getting closer to reparations. All we had to do was trust the process. All we got to do is keep doing what we're doing now. Trust the process. Keep spreading the message, okay? Anytime you hear anybody trying to make a comparison, like that one dude did, to a Black American and to any type of immigrant at all, we shut it down every time. Shut it down. Shut it down every single time. We are not immigrants, and we will not tolerate or entertain a conversation that makes us comparable. You're not going to do that because that's a disrespect to me, and that's a disrespect to my ancestors. I won't allow you to do it. We're not going to do that. You're not going to compare me to someone who left their nation to become a citizen of another nation. We're the only people who did not do that, who did not sign no treaty or no agreement or no citizenship. We're the only people who did not abandon, because that's what it means when you take the Pledge of Allegiance. You're abandoning, by definition, to take a pledge of allegiance to America means you are abandoning your previous nation. We are the only people who did not take a pledge of allegiance to leave one nation to become a part of another nation. We didn't do that. Everybody else did. Everybody else had to. Everybody else. We are not immigrants by any stretch of the word. You can't remix immigrants to fit us in. You can't do that. They're losing the narrative, y'all. They're losing it. That's why the Bad Bunny thing didn't hit. That's why. Let me get to super chat from the Truth Please. He sends a super sticker. Thank you very much. And then Alpha Male Pimp, he says, ABC is owned by Disney. Disney funds the DNC. Of course. You know what I'm saying? So they work hand in hand. So they didn't want that message getting out. Okay. Marcus, he says, please remind the family of FBA legal disclaimer. Oh, yeah. Please remind the family FBA legal disclaimer. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Yeah, FBA is a lineage. And the message, they can't stop that. The message that we're not immigrants, the message of us highlighting our own lineage and heritage, that message is pouring through, and there's nothing they can do to stop that. It's nothing they can do. Okay. Shout out to Line is Blessed. I appreciate you so very much. And another one from I'm talking about on Cash App. Another one from Miss Heard. Thank you very much. And then, excuse me, traveling took a lot out of me today. Traveling, boy. Let me tell you, the trip, traveling is something else. And Melvina, I appreciate you for the PayPal. Forgot what that was for a second. Thank you all very much. I would be remiss, honestly. I just wouldn't feel right if I didn't bring up the fact that I just came back from Washington, D.C. I did. I arrived home today. Boy, traveling was something else, but it is what it is. We made it happen. Let me show you guys. Standing on the For the Culture business. Let me show you guys. Hold on. We went out there, with the podcast. We went to film a podcast, but this time we got our brother Dave Anderson as a special guest on this podcast episode. Let me show you guys the pictures, some of the behind the scenes. I don't know why Twitter took so long to come up, but it is what it is. Come on, Twitter. Come on, Twitter. Okay. You want to act like they don't know how to act. Well, yeah, we was on set. You see, that's, me, ZZ, and our brother Dave Anderson. We was on set. Let me tell y'all something. This episode, we was on fire. We was straight up cooking this episode. We was cooking this episode. Oh, y'all got something good coming up for you. Y'all got something good coming up. Hold on. What the? Okay. Okay, my fault about that. My bad, my bad, my bad. I don't know what. I don't know what. I don't know, man. Is my audio good now? Because people were saying my audio was bad, and then the camera just shut off. I don't know what's going on. They tripping right now. They tripping. They hating for real. They hating. The audio is good. Okay, there it is. We back. We back. Okay. So as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. Okay. Talking about the next For the Culture episode before I was rudely interrupted. Oh yeah, I had my quarter zip on. I had to put it on for the family. You know, one time for the one time. We came there. I'm telling you, studio production. I'm talking about we got 4K stuff, guys. We got shit. I'm stuff. Sorry, is excuse my language. Excuse my language, but this stuff is good. This stuff is good. This you gonna y'all gonna be impressed. Shout out to ZZ. She's up there. She's getting it all the footage chopped up and all that stuff now. Shout out to our brother Dave Anderson. Excuse me. Slip of the tongue, y'all. Slip of the tongue. Shout out to Dave Anderson. He was out there, man. He was cooking, man. He was cooking. Dave was cooking, man. Y'all gonna really like this. And it's coming soon. We wanted to do something good for y'all for Black History Month, so we put it together. Trust me. Trust me, I went through hell. Y'all know me and the airports don't have the best of luck, right? Y'all know that. Okay. Apparently, the weather was real bad, and I had flights that were canceled, and then I had like a couple layovers, and then that flight was canceled. I actually went to New York for the first time. My first time going to New York by accident. I went to New York by accident because there were so many flights that was canceled and then rebooked and all of that stuff, and I have to do this layover over here. I spent all day in New York. Okay, Saturday. Spent all day, the whole day in the airport. Let me tell y'all, I spent all day in the airport. The layover was only supposed to be a couple hours, but every time it's almost time for us to board, it's another delay, and it's another delay, and I'm just sitting up there in the airport all day. I'm talking about I was at the airport for about 10 hours. 10 hours in the New York in the JFK airport waiting so I can get to DC, because it was supposed to be a trip from the JFK airport to Boston and then from Boston to DC. The weather was tripping. The Boston flight kept getting pushed back again and again and again and again and again. And I'm sitting up there out all day. And I didn't want to leave the airport because every time they pushed it back, it was in such small increments of time. I didn't have enough time to like leave and then come back, get checked back in, and catch the flight. I didn't want to miss the flight. So, man, I'm at the airport all day, man. Boy, let me tell you. Yeah, but we made it happen. We made it happen. I'm gonna tell y'all, y'all New York accents, no joke. No joke. I'm all like, damn, they really do talk like this. They really do talk like that. I wish I would have next time I go to New York, I really want to do some sightseeing. I really wanted to do some sightseeing. Had I known I was gonna be there all day long, I would have, but unfortunately, next time. I was able to do, I guess, a little bit of sightseeing. I looked out the window. I saw the Statue of Liberty. I saw the Brooklyn Bridge, much bigger than I thought it was gonna be. The Brooklyn Bridge is, I'm like, damn, that's a big bridge. That bridge is huge. The Brooklyn Bridge is big. It's like, oh wow, okay, cool. I could see how like the little, islands was kind of divided. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, shout out. I wish next time. I did have some pizza. I don't know if it was New York pizza. I talked to Sage. Shout out to Sage. I don't know if this is like New York pizza. This pizza called artichoke. I had like an artichoke pizza. I liked it. It was cool. He said it was an acquired taste, but it's not like the New York pizza. It's not like the pizza that y'all be claiming is New York pizza. So I still got to get there, get that kind of New York vibe, that New York feeling, no, whatever. Okay. Next time. Okay. Next time I'm going to spend a little bit more time in New York. I'm going to get the full experience. Boy. Let me get to, it says, thank you very much. Dominique says, you're all looking good there. Thank you, representing. Thank you all. Oh yeah. We had to represent. Do I eat pork? No, I don't eat pork. I don't. It was like the artichoke was really. It didn't have meat. It was like a vegetable thing. It was like a kind of like a pizza pie. It was. It was not a deep dish. I don't know if you, because deep dish is like a Chicago thing. I don't know if like y'all even know like what a deep dish is. Like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys do know, but it's like not the closest I could compare it to is kind of like a Detroit pizza. It's kind of like that. That's the closest. It's closer to that than like a deep dish, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now I do like deep dish. Some of y'all in the chat room, y'all like, I don't like. No, I love me a deep dish. Deep dish is good. Deep dish. I'm gonna digress a little. Deep, when people say Chicago style, right? Chicago really has two different types of pizza. Okay, really two. But deep, and when okay, folk out here, for instance, when we talk about ordering a pizza, 9 times out of 10 that pizza is not deep dish. Deep dish is more like a every so often type of pizza. It's more like a special event or going out type pizza. You don't often like that's not the everyday pizza. That's that Chicago style. When people talk about that, I feel like when people from Chicago talk about Chicago pizza versus when people are outside of Chicago talking about Chicago pizza is two different things. Okay, we're not really talking about that. You know what I'm saying? So even though now I love a deep dish pizza, but when I think of like a pizza, that's not what I'm thinking of. But like when a tourist comes to Chicago, they're like, "Oh, I want a deep dish because that's the Chicago pizza." That's not the Chicago pizza. That's a Chicago pizza. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So, so now you know. Now you know. If you come to Chicago, if you're not from here, you got to get two different types of pizza. Just letting you know that. Just letting you know. You didn't get the full Chicago pizza experience until you tried both. And the other one's kind of like some people saying beggars or like Aurelio's or something like a thin crust. And then it's cut into squares. You know, so yeah. Yep. Now you know. Now you know. Okay. Oh, tell it like it is. He says, as a original Chicago native, I will destroy a deep dish pizza. I'm telling you, deep dish is nothing to play with, y'all. Deep dish is nothing to play with, y'all, man. Deep dish is nothing to play. I love me a deep dish. I love it. Deep dish is nothing to play with. We got some good deep dishes out here, but y'all gonna get me started. I'm just saying, you know. So when y'all come to Chicago, y'all got to get the full Chicago. I mean, we got other things besides pizza, but y'all, you can't leave without pizza. Like you missed a very important piece of the puzzle. Pizza is a very important piece of the puzzle of Chicago, so you can't leave without the pizza. You got more than you got to get the heralds and all that other stuff, but you got to get the pizza. You can't leave without the pizza. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I didn't want to leave New York without the pizza. I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I want the pizza, man. But you know, next time. I was even planning on going to New York that day, so you know, next time. Next time. All right. But you know, we chopped it up, family. See, and the fact that we're in the chat room, right? Just this moment, We spent like the last 5 minutes, something like that, talking about pizza, Chicago. That's a cultural connection that we share. And we can share this cultural connection even if you guys are not from Chicago. Because even if you guys are not from Chicago, even if you guys have never been to Chicago, you guys know about it. You guys know somebody from Chicago. You guys know there's some family around that area. You wanted to come or you wanted to try it. So there's a cultural connection because every state has kind of like their thing. Like if you go to the Carolinas, they're gonna have like gumbo, or there's like seafood is really big in DC, New York, Chicago. We got our own like pizza stuff. And if you go anywhere, there's like different stuff. If you go to different southern places, there's different southern barbecue and different southern foods and stuff like that. And it's a part of the culture. There's certain restaurants and stuff that's a part of the culture. So even if you're not from the city of Chicago or even have ever been, you can still connect. You can still vibe to the frequency. All right. You can still tune in and you can still be in tune. You can't do that with Bad Bunny. We're not talking about Puerto Rico. You couldn't do that you can only do that from foundational Black American culture. And the fact that we have this cultural connection and Bad Bunny, he misses that. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. I mean, and I'm not even trying to be shady. I'm really not. I'm just trying to be serious. You can't do that with Bad Bunny. You can't, man. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it with Bad Bunny. And that's why the Super Bowl didn't hit. That's just why. I do want to know what y'all think in the comment section, though. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, please, and thank you. But before y'all go, if y'all can hit that like button, okay? And hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, all of that. Y'all can hit all of that stuff. I would greatly appreciate that, okay? Thank y'all very much. I appreciate y'all, family. Let me give y'all this one time for one time. So very much. It means the world. It really does. Okay? We'll conclude this by saying, listen, we are the culture here. Okay? We are the gatekeepers of legend. We are the ones who determines what stays in history, how it's remembered, and what doesn't. You can try to replicate, but as Kendrick Lamar said, you can't fake influence. Now, family, appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you guys. As always, Black First to every single last one of y'all. I will catch you guys later. Y'all stay tuned. Make sure y'all subscribe. And y'all stay blessed.